Welcome back on Good Morning Artesia, and it's time to chat with one of our school administrators. We have our, Director of Athletics, Athletic Director Cooper Henderson with us.
How are you today, Gene?
Doing great. Joby and I went over and sat up on the roof of the press box and had that lovely wind blowing in and on us, and got to watch Riley Crandall hit the record and
600 strikeouts.
Right. Now, is that a state record or is that just a school record? The public address announcer last night said it was like a state record, and Joby and I were like, well, I don't remember them telling us that.
And I'm not certain on that either. I do know it's a record. I was thinking it was state record, but we'll check on that today.
Yeah, well, that's quite an accomplishment for any athlete to be able to, because in every sport there's different categories where you can excel in, and Riley certainly has done well in pitching in the category of strikeouts. So,
and definitely has done it for Artesia for quite a few years here. We're really going to enjoy watching her play at Baylor, but we're going to miss her a bunch.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about other girls' athletics.
Hey, I told you, this morning, Gene, I really did want to talk about girls because first of all, yesterday did make a district championship, of course, for our softball team and closing out district play. Some people may not know that earlier this week that our girls tennis team won a district championship as well up at Goddard, and we're really proud of them. It's a young group, and they really have played well this year, and excited about them going on to the state tournament. And if you've watched our girls in golf have done real well this year, and girls in track, we've really had girls both in the field events and as well as running events, excelling, doing really well. And we'll talk about each of them. Everybody's coming up to the high points of their season as far as you hope their best performances, because it's down to that point. And we get that started tomorrow with baseball, Goddard playing here, and basically that series is going to determine the district championship for our baseball. We'll go back to Goddard Friday for 2 games, and right now we're at 6-0 and they're at 5-1, and we need to beat them a couple of times. And anyway, and then in baseball after this week, the playoffs start, and we hope to be in the top 8 seeds where we would get to host at that first round. As I know Joby mentioned yesterday, is 2 out of 3 for the baseball, and so we hope to be hosting some baseball playoffs here next week, as well as having a great finish to this week.
Now, is there also going to be a softball playoff game here as well?
Yes, now softball would be, because we're going to be we're definitely in the rankings there, and again, hopefully baseball, I think we will too, but softball will be in that top. Well, we'll be at the top of the rankings, and we will be hosting a game either Friday or Saturday, which is, like Joey mentioned yesterday, it's kind of interesting. It's a one game playoff when you in softball, and then you go to the state tournament, and it's double elimination. And baseball is just the opposite. It's 2 out of 3 in the first round, and you go to the state tournament, and it's you get beat, you're out.
Yeah.
So, but it's that time of year that everybody's been working towards, and that's exciting. I think it's, I know for us, a lot of fun, and particularly when you look at the number of events that I hope that our community will realize we're going to be hopefully hosting baseball. We will be hosting softball. And then we also have in our other sports some pretty exciting things coming up. Track. We go to Lovington this week, but the next week we actually have the district track meet hosted here in Artesia. So it'll be a good chance, if you haven't gotten to watch those athletes perform, be back at home the next Friday. And actually that day for track people, if you like running, that morning we've got elementary track meet. So it's lots of things happening over the next week or two. The tennis team as well, through with the team part of the play, but this Saturday is the individual tournament for our district, and we're actually hosting that, and that'll be out at the courts pretty much all day, 8 o'clock most of the day. Saturday, that individual tennis tournament, and if you haven't gotten a chance to watch any of those, that's also, I think, would be fun for you to come out and watch some of our athletes play there. As I said, our girls finished the year team-wise real well, and I'm sure in the and they'll play singles and doubles in the individual tournament coming up this week. Golf is getting better all the time. I've had some ups and downs along the way, but we also are hosting next Monday the district golf tournament, and so quite a few events. It's kind of unusual to have as many district events fall where they're going to be in Artesia, because some of them are rotational as far as where they are, and so it should be kind of a fun week if you're a Bulldog sports enthusiast. You get ready to go watch a lot of things next week.
So you got district tennis, you got district golf, you've got district track,
right?
That are all going to be taking place, and then hopefully state baseball, and pretty sure on the softball.
Softball will be.
Now I'm sure you've heard Joby's request.
I did miss. I may have missed that. What was his request?
His request was, as you're scheduling these games, make it possible so that Joby can finish calling the baseball, and then he can go do the softball.
Well, we definitely would like to do that, because I think it'll allow our fans to watch both in person too, and so you hope that, but. Honestly, what they really have you work around more than anything is the schedules of the travel and that type of thing.
Yeah.
But with 2 out of 3 baseball and just 1 softball at home, I bet we can get pretty close to doing that. Hopefully, the way Joby would like there.
It doesn't make any difference for us from the broadcast side, because we've got to have equipment set up in both places anyway. But next thing Joby's going to request is a golf cart, so we can drive him from one to the other and take him over there in style.
Yeah, maybe we need a monorail or something between those 2 places.
Oh, that is fantastic. One of the things that I know you're aware of this, and most people in Artesia are aware of this. We're so fortunate to have the support that we have, to have the facilities that we have. Whether it's tennis or track or baseball or softball, we have such great facilities with which for the athletes, and then even for the fans.
Yes, and I know you recognize it when you go broadcast different places, but it is a blessing, and we've been both from the community and being willing to support our schools the way they have. It makes us stand out. We've also had, no doubt, some individual and donors and people through the years that have really helped us upgrade to better than we probably could have had. And I think it's one of those things that helps our athletes and community be real proud of the young people and what the situation. And we honestly, each year, I would probably, the group that we don't sometimes talk about is like our maintenance staff. Another part of having great facilities is having someone take care of them, and we expect our athletes and coaches to, but be real honest, our maintenance staff, small group, but boy, they do a lot of good things to keep our school facilities. We appreciate Mr. Simer and all his group of how they get things ready for us in playoffs or games or whatever. And if there's something not working right, they're going to do their very best to get there. In the spring, another thing I get a lot of times people talking about too is I think they really enjoy coming out to softball or baseball games and eating as well. Sometimes that's, it's just been a good environment. The concession has had good food, and Darlene and her group have done real well with that. It's just a fun time, and I say the most enjoyable part hopefully will be these next week or so, where you get to see the year end and where hopefully our athletes are playing their best and having the most fun, and we're really looking forward to it.
Now this weekend is when the NMAA puts the brackets together for baseball and softball, and they've got their set criteria that they use and that they go by. Offhand, do you know some of the criteria that they consider?
Yes, but I'm not. Honestly, most of our coaches can sit here and list you exactly where you stand with all of them. I'm kind of old school, and if you win, you're going to keep playing. That's
a
little bit more, but, well, just take, for instance, there's the criteria for our softball. We're going to be good in every bracket, every area, wins against district champs, being, max preps, where you stand, all those criteria points. Really, when you've been as successful, we're going to be in real good shape. And it gets interesting when you're kind of close to the line of of how they stack up, and there's always some things people wanting to change. I know the last year or two, I mentioned the win against District 10. Some people have really not liked that one and want us to go back to just more strength of schedule. And I think for valid reasons. Sometimes you schedule someone maybe a lower class or whatever just to get, but most of the criteria are based on being successful.
Yeah, no, that's now for the district championship for baseball. That's not an NMAA thing. That's a district thing. So how will that? If there happens to be a tie in baseball, how will that be split?
It would end up, they would, for that to happen, Goddard's got to beat us twice.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would, wait a minute, I'm going to say this backwards. I had it in my mind straight coming in this morning because we're 6-0, they're 5-1. They'd have to beat us twice, so it'd be head-to-head, and so they would be the district champs. Yeah, they would have 2 wins against us versus us having
in
1 win.
Okay.
In the head-to-head. Pardon me. Yes, head-to-head. So they'd beat us in the head-to-head if they did that. But we're not planning on that happening.
No. I was going to say, you go back to what you said earlier. You just keep winning, you keep playing, and so you don't have to worry about things like that. So that's, but that makes sense. With the 3-game series, it's easy to have.
Yeah, it is a lot easier than having 2-2. Like if you could have ended up the way we used to play it, where you'd had 2 wins for each. So big games for us this week.
That's sure. That's true. Last time I saw you over at the football stadium, the Bulldog Bowl, there was a bunch of folks talking about turf and Bulldogs on there. So is that being replaced this year?
That is. We're real excited about that. And, we have some meetings coming up, and of course, we hope to see that start taking place real quick after graduation this year. That we start getting that turf moved out, and new turf in, and excited about that project. I think we are at a point, and turf is great. We can go on and on about all the different reasons why, and kids getting to work out year-round, the surface and all. But again, you do have to replace it normally somewhere between 8 and 12 years, and most of the time, and we're at that point where we need to, but we're really excited about the company that's coming in and the product they're going to be placing on the field. I think people will be real excited. We won't talk too much about it. They'll have to come out and kind of get surprised. It will. A little different design, and I think it's always fun each time. We no doubt took Coach Maupin's thoughts and different people a little bit, and yet I think it'll still look same as Bulldog Bowl, but it'll be look newer and better.
Of course.
We're getting to do the berms. Those haven't been redone since the original turf.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We put on them, and so they're ripping up, and we're doing a few things with that hopefully are going to make it last for long beyond some of us. Let's put it that way. As far as the underneath surface on the berms, we've had a little trouble, and so we're going in and fixing that, and it's gonna be a really nice project. And
wow. Well, what happens to the old turf and these types of projects?
Used to last time, people, we put it and let's let people haul it off. Since that time, there's been some state laws and state problems with that. I don't know if you close to us here in Roswell. Anyhow, they claim some people were using the turf for their own private use or whatever.
Oh my goodness!
And it's for the time you're pulling it out of there, and so I don't know. I think that's pretty much a done deal these days. You got to haul it off. It seems kind of crazy if someone could use it that you can't. But at least that's pretty sure that's where we've got to head with it.
I think we have a chunk of it somewhere.
The old one?
I think we have a piece of hardwood from the old basketball floor around here somewhere. So I hope I don't get anybody in trouble by having those.
No, I'm going to say if you do, we're in real trouble. Someone's worried about you having a little bit of turf down here at the studio.
Oh, that's because that seems to be kind of a popular thing when stadiums get torn down or things like that get done. Fans like to come in and collect pieces from that. So have you already, I bet you're already starting to work on this fall and athletics that'll be happening in the fall, and wrestling is now part of Artesia Athletics.
Right. We have our fall schedules pretty well completed and ready to go. We also we're working on, we'll be building a wrestling facility on the west side of the Red Brick Gym, and I think it won't be done until little later, first semester next year. But we're in that process. We're in the process also of interviewing and talking to some people about that wrestling position job, and so we're getting things moving on that as well.
Yeah, well, another sport
Right.
to win championships with.
That's what we're aiming for.
That's great. And your role as athletic director really doesn't stop even in the summertime. Do you get any kind of a break at all?
Oh, usually a little in June, but it's been really after all of us, I think, feel the same way. After last year being limited so much, it's just exciting to see so many things happening and so many things going, and people getting back to competing well and getting better and improving and focusing on those things rather than some of the problems and all. So we're really excited about the way the year is finishing up, but looking forward to next year, no doubt, too.
Okay, so we've got tennis coming up. We've got district golf coming up. We've got
district track meet
here. And then, of course, you've got your playoffs for baseball and softball. Is there anything else in the spring that happens, or is that?
I think we about covered it today.
Okay, well, very good. And are you still doing the online ticket sales? I don't know.
We are, but we haven't promoted it, I guess, enough. There's not too much action. We feel like that we at least kind of got started with it. Our goal would be then next year during football that those that want online ticketing off, that we're comfortable enough that we could make that work. It seems like when you in some of the bigger crowd events, it seems like people want to do that a little more, and particularly out of town people. But the other end of it, we're happy. We're going to keep doing things. We're going to accommodate people either way is what we're going to try to do. But it did seem to run smoothly, but we just hadn't had a whole lot of use.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens in the fall. So
okay,
all right. Cooper Henderson, Athletic Director, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you for all your coverage of our sports.
We love doing it. This is KS.